Maybe now and then you come around. Little do I know about you now. Though I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Go around the night and have some fun. Something about the way you make me feel. Everything about you can be real. I'll do anything to have you here, my dear.
Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Put the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Wash has found 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
103 with the primal rage!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Tranquility here. We are in the playoffs now here in the Discord tier where we'll be in the lower bracket here to start tonight as we see the number 7 Adelaide Eclipse take on the number 10 Vampyres. My name is Dextron. I am joined by Gadster tonight. Gad, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Very excited for tonight. I'm not really familiar with any of these players or teams. This is actually my first official Overwatch commentary ever.
Okay.
So, should be a fun time though, regardless.
Yeah, you picked a good time to join in. Getting into the playoffs right now. This is a lower bracket, which means it is a do or die game for both of these teams here. Let's take actually a look at the brackets right now. So, I'll give a moment here for our producer to get caught up. Sorry about that. Laggy. But yeah, as you can kind of see right now, this is what our bracket kind of looks like here in the lower bracket at the moment. You see the matchup right there, matchup 7, Adelaide Eclipse versus the Vampyres. That is the matchup you are watching tonight. The matchup that feeds into this one will be the loser between, I believe it was Ragnarok Loki and MI7 or match 4, as you can see right there. Winner of that one will go on to play Doodles. However, we're focusing on the one that we are going to be casting tonight, which is the Adelaide Eclipse versus the Vampyres here. The 7 and the 10 seeds in this lower bracket for the Discord tier. So it's going to be a really exciting match. The Adelaide Eclipse finished the season 5-3 with I believe that is a +5 map differential. However, on the other hand, the Vampyres finished the season 3-5 with a -9 map difference. So, you know, these two teams a little bit different in their records. Actually, the records are reversed essentially, but essentially, oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just adding on to what you were saying.
Yeah, but essentially,
reverse.
yeah, but essentially, it's playoff times now. Those seedings next to their names that's all you have to go off of. 7 versus 10. Upsets are made to happen here in the lower bracket, and I'm always excited to see them.
Lower bracket, man. You never want to be one of those teams that goes out without winning a game in the playoffs, but unfortunately, it's got to be someone, and we're going to be sending that team home tonight. You hate to see it, but one of these teams is going to get one step closer to the next step of the tournament. We are going to be starting with Nepal control map, and looks like we're going to be starting on... I'm really bad at remembering which points on Nepal are called what. I think this one is Shrine?
I believe this one is called Shrine.
Ah, it is Shrine.
Yeah, Shrine, Village, and Temple. This is definitely Shrine in my
That's
opinion.
it. Yeah.
But we're gonna get to see what these two teams come out with here, and it's always interesting because I always expect to kind of see a Symmetra off the start, maybe just get a TP to the get their team TP closer to the point faster. However, we're not seeing either team do that at the moment.
No, we're seeing a little bit of an interesting composition on both sides of this. If you tune into the Overwatch League right now, you'll be seeing a lot of similar stuff to what Blue is running at the moment. I'm sorry, I do not remember which.
Yeah, I
That is
believe Blue
Adelaide
is
Eclipse.
yeah.
That is Adelaide Eclipse. Adelaide Eclipse running, obviously, what's pretty solidly meta in the Overwatch League at the moment. The Sojourn, obviously very strong character, but, you know, while I wasn't paying attention, looks like Vampires also swapped to something very similar. Only difference in this so far being the Diva and the Winston on each side.
Yeah, and you see both sides have that Kariko here to start off, and a lot of actually getting a lot of value already. But Sat B actually gets demech'd here early, so that is big advantage now for the Vampires. They can start to collapse in a little bit on the Eclipse here, but Tanic B actually able to find Gordo, so kind of evens it out for the Eclipse side right now. As we do see, Vampires are closer to capping the point right now, but that one kill for the Eclipse, as we see them turn into 2 and 3, make it 4 from Sat B onto Majestic. Now they're trying to get rid of that soldier in there, but they're able to escape with their lives as Gordo was just able to get back in time.
Yeah, crucial mistake there. Satby got the mech back. She managed to recharge it. And if you don't take out that Pilot Diva form, you're at pretty great risk of losing the fight, I should say there. And unfortunately, not able to take her out this time around, and you lose first control. You're able to take it back pretty consistently here, though. You do have the sound barrier to work with, but you got to be careful.
Yeah, and look at this, already a sound barrier coming out from Catalyst here. Tries to keep their team sustained in this team fight. However, they back off point, almost flip the point, flip over to the Vampires there. Shu going after Sat B there, but gets denied. Tanic B now gets 2 with their own Death Blossom, and Swifters cleans up the final 2 for the Eclipse to get the first team kill of this series. But they did have to use both their support ultimates and one DPS ultimate in that team fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're okay with that if you're Vampire. They had to burn 3 ultimates just to win that one fight. That's fine. All you used there was the sound barrier, and you're coming up on both DPS ultimates and almost have that Kitsune rush. So that rush in particular could be absolutely crucial here. If you send in that Reaper, just with the added fire rate, there is nothing the supports can do right now.
Yeah, Kustuni Rush coming out for the Vampires here. Start Swifters finds one, but Goro comes right back on finds Swifters. Point is going to be retaken here by the Vampires. Bomb comes out from Sat B. Is able to find Gordo just outside of that bubble right now. XI2 here just trying to do whatever they can, but the kills continue to come from the Eclipse right now. XI2 running for their life. Tanic B showing that Reaper can land those headshots from a distance as Sat B cleans up Callus there, and already another quick retake there by the Eclipse team, only allowing 16% to go to the Vampires.
Only 16%, and that is absolutely not good right now. We're now in one fight territory. We're past 80%. The overclock is really all you have to work with. Primal as well. But yeah, they can retake this. The only ultimate that's really in danger of coming up on the opposite side is that Kitsune Rush. But if you can take out that Kiriko early, then you're looking pretty fantastic. Oh, but good shot!
Yes, finds one there as the overclock there expires. But here comes a Kastuni Rush from the Eclipse. Shu already gone. Sappy out of their mech, but Hayden able to find Majestic out with the nice punch there. Bunny takes care of 12 or 11-2 there. And now again, Bunny finds Callus there. The monkey is just absolutely spinning there. It won't help them on this map though, as Eclipse will take the first point here on Nepal.
Eclipse gonna hold on to that. Despite only having one ultimate to work with, the Kitsune Rush was just enough. They get, I believe, 3 picks at the very beginning of that fight, and just at that point, what can you do?
Now we head to Temple. This is a fun map, especially because you can always see a lot of environmental kills come just from the pit surrounding the point. Doesn't really look like anyone's necessarily swapping any picks right now, but I would kind of expect to see something out of the Vampires here.
Yeah, the Vampires definitely running what is more traditional meta. Oh, is that an Orisa swap though? Is that an Orisa swap? Are you gonna commit to this? Looks like they are. Orisa's coming out. Press and shift. Get towards that point just a little bit faster. Gonna have that cooldown back by the time they get there. And yeah, no swaps for the side of... I keep forgetting the team names. I'm so sorry.
The Eclipse. No swaps for the Eclipse. They already get Sat B demech'd here early. Again, we saw that last fight, but Tanic be able to take care of Shu early here. And now we're starting to see some members go to the point. Sat B decides to jump off the map to try to get into their mech a little bit faster. Disrupting shot coming on point there from Swifters. but it seems like the Vampires will be able to get first point here. However, Tanakby in the backline continues to do work. Hayden continuing to do work as well. Swifters with the railgun shot there onto Callus, and now all he got to do is take care of Gordo, and now look at that. Tanakby again finding another kill, and the point will swap quickly back over here. Bunny taking care of Shu, who got in really late into that engagement.
Yeah, Sho not able to stall for anything past 11%, unfortunately. And now we've already almost passed that for the side of our Adelaide Eclipse. And now, this Orisa pick, it's charged up a fair amount of the ultimate at this point, but you gotta wonder, how are you gonna find Terra Surge, like, value into this composition? With all of these characters having pretty good mobility. Zappi's mech does go down again, but this time they actually finish off the pilot Diva, so who knows?
Swifters falls there. All right, Hayden finds Sho there. Callus and Gordo come right back for 2 kills for the Vampires, trying to keep them in this fight. Swifters trying to do whatever they can on point now. Looking for that. Lucio misses the railgun charge. Callus will take care of Bunny. We saw Gordo take care of Swifters there. Point reflip in favor of the Vampires. Sap B just gonna pilot themselves down into that pit, so they regroup with their team here and do not force any staggers coming out. But look at the ultimates coming up now for the Vampires. However, same could be said for the Eclipse side as well.
Yeah, both these teams coming up on some pretty impactful ultimates here. Both DPS ults and BT Center Rush for Eclipse. In fact, here comes that overclock. Terra Switch comes out, unfortunately doesn't find a ton of value. Wait for the Death Blossom. Gonna find a lot of damage across the board. Everybody is low, and it's just a Lucio healing left. They can absolutely still turn this. Oh,
yeah, but here comes Sho's own Death Blossom. However, 2 members on point right now for the Eclipse side. Gonna try to do their best. Sho takes care of Sap B. Now they're just trying to get rid of Hayden, and they're able to do that. They will keep the point here for a moment. A lot of ultimates came out in that last team fight. Hayden and Sap B do have their ultimates ready. XI2, or I'm just going to call them 11-2 from now on, does have their overclock ready to go. Majestic does have their Consuming Rush ready to go as well, so that could be big, especially if they pair those 2 up together.
Sho popped that Blossom when he was the last player alive on his entire team, and somehow managed to clutch out in a 1v2 on the point. Granted, it was against Baby Diva and Lucio, sorry, but still very impressive from him. Although Gordo going down this early in the fight could spell lost fight here for the side of Vampyres.
11-2 trying to do their best there. They find 1. They find 2. The point has flopped back over to the side of the Eclipse. Bomb coming out from Sappy. Does not find anyone there, but the damage has already mostly been done. XI2 here trying to do whatever they can on point. They do have some support there from both their supports and the returning Gordo. Or beat coming out from Callus here to keep their team supported into this team fight. They do retake point. Gordo able to get rid of Sappy's mech, and Majestic takes care of Sappy right after that. Hayden takes care of Callus. 11-2 finds 1. Just swap or trades going back and forth now in that kill feed. Gordo and 11-2 on point. Hayden able to take care of Sho. Gordo, though, takes care of Bunny, and no one for the Eclipse side able to get back in time, and we will be heading to point 3 here on Nepal.
We're going to Village. The good kills under the supports at the end, by the way, those were the only 2 players who were able to even continue contesting, and both of them died before they could even touch. Really good stuff from Vampire to rebound with this Orisa pick, which has found a pretty surprising amount of value. I think the 1 Terra Surge that got used didn't find much, but I don't really see a problem with staying on this Orisa pick.
Yeah, honestly, the Orisa pick was actually really interesting to me because Orisa is really not in the meta right now.
No, not
especially
at
at higher levels. You really won't see an Orisa be picked. Honestly, though, I feel like they played Orisa perfectly. They used Orisa to just keep control of areas, keep control of just certain spaces, and it worked out really well for them. And now we're going to see them stick on it here. The Zarya coming out, like you said, from the side of Eclipse. And Swifters already takes care of Sho here early, and look at Sat B, already up to 70% on that charge. That is a scary beam coming down that main wow, I cannot think. Coming out that side door right now for the Vampires and does force them to fall back. First point will probably be captured by the Eclipse. Sat B, though, getting really low, 100% on that beam. That beam is not even scary. Immortality Field comes out, Show takes care of it. Now it's just a fight on point. Sat B falls first. That is a great pick for the side of the Vampires. Gordo now going after Tanic B, doing a lot, gets the spear into Hayden. Show finds Bunny, and look at this. This should be an easy point flip for the Vampires.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I'll point out, by the way, that that's not the only... The Zarya isn't the only compositional change we've seen from Eclipse from the second point. We're also seeing a Batiste coming out from Bunny. Interesting choice from her, seeing as how Kiriko, pretty strong right now, I'd say. You know, very, very powerful ultimate. It'll be interesting to see how Tanic B functions without the use of that Kitsune Rush, but it's still playable for sure. Swifters already finding a pick with this overclock going in on the point. Lots of damage being poured in right now, though.
And here comes the damage. Here comes the damage message from Bunny. Gonna try to keep everyone off that point. Here comes the Terror Surge, though, from Gordo. I don't think it finds anything, but again, did a great job of creating space. However, Tanic B finds Show out. Now they're going after Gordo. They find Gordo. Beat comes out from Callus and Hayden. Both beats have been used on this point. Swifters able to take out Majestic with the railgun. Tanic B absolutely on a tear right now. Finds 3 of the 4 members as Swifters takes care of 11-2 there, and they retake the point.
Super well played there from Adelaide, but I wanted to point out something there. Kalis' beat, I think, was meant to try to save Gordo after the Orisa fell a little bit too low. Unfortunately comes out, I think the animation started right before Gordo was eliminated from the fight, so that ultimate, unfortunately, is not going to find a lot of value, and out comes the Death Blossom, so going to get blocked off. Good stuff from Gordo, but it doesn't matter. Swift is on the side, finding a couple of picks. And yeah, there's another fight win for Adelaide. 45 in building. We are now about equal in percent.
Yeah, 11-2 will. Oh wait, that's 9-2. 9-2 will just jump off the map there.
No, that's 11-2. XI.
Yeah, I cannot. Roman numerals, man. I thought I knew.
You very clearly never played the Final Fantasy series.
No. Okay, but here we go. Again, another Death Blossom coming out from Show. Gets booped off that high ground. Will not find anything with it. Instead, it will be their own team members falling here. 3, 4. Show does find Sat B. But look at that. Swifters taking care of 3 of the 5 members of the Vampires there. And we're getting in really close to last fight territory. And Show's Death Blossom needed to be huge in that last team fight. However, they find nothing. And now only that overclock will be the only thing they have. They cannot have 11-2 fall early in this engagement.
Nope. Absolutely not. 11-2. He's got to get that overclock off. He's got to charge it up. 8% to go. Almost there. Only 20 charge at the moment. Can he find anything extra? Callus is down. That's the opening. Sassy as well.
Swifters, though, pops their overclock here, finds one. Exile, or 11-2 pops their own overclock, finds another one, finds 2 there onto Hayden. They should be able to retake point here, and now it's up to the Vampires now to hold this point for another 50%. Maybe we could see a late swap here in momentum going into the next map, or maybe we see the Adelaide Eclipse team come back out here and retake this point and finish it off.
Gordo as well, swapping over to the Reinhardt instead of the Orisa. Interesting choice. Probably mostly to get back to the point fast enough. Oh, Kalis goes down. That's a crucial pick there. Oh, but the Shatter takes down 3!
Look at that, 2 already gone from that Shatter. They're looking for more. Gordo, though, standing in that disrupting shot. Won't kill him, however, they get really chunked down there. Sat B able to take care of them. Death Blossom comes out from Tanic B, but they find no one because 11-2 tells them to stop spinning and keep shooting. Sat B, though, finds Shu out there. They're trying to do their best on this point right now. Hayden is trying to keep them alive. Now the Immortality Field comes out from Bunny to keep them alive even further. Swifters Bunny find 2. The point will be reflipped here. It does go 9-9-9-9 overtime now. Here we come. Gordo's back on point. They will only be able to touch those and prolong this before they die by the day. Our hands of Bunny there. And the Adelaide Eclipse side will take the first point here, or first map.
Lots of very small individual moments from many of those players. Hayden with some fantastic boops onto the Blossoming Reapers at one point on, I believe, the 3rd point there. And just super well played all around. I also wanted to point out the disruptor shots from Swifters, especially one near the end that caught both of the supports in it. Really, really well timed.
Yeah, like you could easily tell these players that were using the Sojourn really know how to use her, especially with like you said, those disruptor shots. There was barely ever a disruptor shot that really seemed to be just an errant shot or one they were just kind of throwing out there hoping it was gonna, maybe do something. Everyone that we saw really kind of like in its name disrupted what the other team was trying to do, whether it be spacing or just trying to split them up a little bit.
Spacing, splitting them up, slowing them down so it's ever so slightly easier to hit those railgun headshots. Just, it's such a diverse ability, and you've got to know how and when to use it when you're playing Sojourn, and Eclipse just had it there.
Yeah, and honestly, I have to give the Vampyres a lot of credit here. They brought out that Orisa, and it really seemed to throw the Adelaide Eclipse off a little bit. And it took them about a map and a half or a point and a half here to really figure it out, and it was almost a little bit too late for them. But, towards the end of that, we saw Ryan come back out, and again, another character that's not necessarily in the most played part of the meta, but is still necessarily played a decent amount.
Yeah, I think the Reinhardt was mostly there to just get back to the point quickly. Probably your best option at that point. Wrecking Ball is obviously faster, but has less sustain on the point because, no giant shield in front of you. But yeah, I think the Reinhardt was an interesting swap. That was a really good shatter at the end by Gordo, by the way, knocking down 3 players, getting 2 picks off of it. But unfortunately, not enough for the Vampyres to hold on to that point, and Eclipse will end up taking that second point and that first map.
Yes, but just to give some score updates on other matches going on right now. So the game that leads into this one, Ragnarok Loki versus MI7. MI7 is currently winning in that one. If you were wanting to know the score of the latest Overwatch League playoffs game, the Spark did end up beating the Spitfire 3-1. So an overall good season there for the Spitfire, but they are now out. There's a couple other scores, but we'll let you know those updates after the second map. But honestly, Gad, just looking at that first map, what do you think needs to necessarily change for the Vampyres or maybe even the Eclipse? Because both sides did look good at points and they did look kind of sluggish at other points.
There were moments of weakness on both sides for sure, but I think the big thing that I wanted to point out was Vampyres needed to enable Gordo just a little bit more. I think that a lot of the resources were just not going towards him, unfortunately. And when in a meta where tanks are this impactful, in a game where tanks are this impactful, frankly, you need to do a little bit better of a job enabling that tank player. The Orisa swap was good and it caught them off guard, but I mostly put that down to an unexpected off-meta swap. It worked, but can't depend on that forever. And it looks up next, we're going to be going to Midtown.
The hybrid map of Midtown, New York City, baby. Here we come. But this is honestly gonna be one of my first times actually casting a game on Midtown. It's gonna be really fun for us to see, and as we go back to the lobby.
Unfortunate. Looks like not everybody had called ready. Unfortunately. Looks like.
But what? Go ahead.
No. I wasn't gonna say anything of substance. Go ahead.
But I was gonna ask you, what do you expect to see out of Midtown? Because there are these long sight lines on the first point, especially. I have seen some Widowmaker and some Hanzo Ashe being played on this first point specifically just because of those sight lines. But after that, what do you normally expect to see on this map, in your opinion?
I think that generally speaking, we're still going to be seeing a lot of the Sojourn. The question, and this is a map where Reaper can get a lot of value as well. Obviously, there's a long sight lines on the first point in particular, and to an extent the third point. But maybe we see a Genji, maybe we see a double hit scan with an Ashe or a Widowmaker as well in the mix. But I believe there was a substitute player on one side. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I saw that happen.
Yeah, looks like Sat B is coming out for the Eclipse, and in comes Spooky.
That'll do it. All right, Sat B playing particularly well on the tank that last map, though. The Zarya was very good all around.
Yeah, but like you said, you talked about maybe seeing a double hit scan on this map. Maybe we could even see a soldier and a soldier come out here. I've seen it happen a lot in the games I've played. However, in the rank that I'm currently at, it is much lower than probably what these players are. So maybe it's not that strategy there. But you know, the tanks we're probably gonna see probably the same thing: Zarya, Diva, Winston. I wouldn't be shocked to see a Sigma come out on this map. Maybe the Vampires stick with that Orisa because it worked for them a decent amount on the last map. But I feel like it's just at this point a map by map pick for them. I don't think the Orisa will necessarily work out as well on Midtown as it did on the fall.
Probably not. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Sigma. Obviously a very strong character, just ever so slightly overshadowed by the more mobility focused tanks, but it finally looks like we're going back into the map of Midtown. Both of these teams, 20 seconds to decide compositions, get a little bit more time to put themselves in position, and then we are rolling.
Yep. So Adelaide Eclipse up 1-0 so far in this series. One more win in this series does give a match point. The Vampires here looking to tie the series up and not be put to match point here so early on in the series. And looks like the Vampires might be teasing us with a Junker Queen pick.
I highly doubt this is actually happening. I would love to see it, don't get me wrong, but in a meta where Kiriko is so prevalent, there is, in my opinion at least, absolutely no reason to be using Junker Queen. A single press of E can just completely negate the ultimate that Junker Queen had been charging for the last several minutes. So I doubt this happens, but it would be quite fun.
I mean, Brightside is sticking on that for the moment. There's only is 5 seconds left, and I imagine we could see a swap here. Yep, there it is to the Zarya. Much more normal comp coming out for them now. Rappa goes over to the Reaper. Callus swapping over to the Baptiste now, and Majestic on the Lucio. And look at this, they're already trying to speed through this point. Nice disrupting shot coming out from 11-2 there, but the dive in from Spooky tries to get some of them down. Immortality field already used here by the Vampires. Can be able to take that one out, and now the Eclipse here pretty much have the Vampires trapped into this small room. Swifters takes care of 11-2 there, and there's a lot of other members on that side. Low in health, however, they are getting healed back up by Majestic the best they possibly can, but Callus falls early in this engagement, and look at this. Swifters here trying to just get some off angles, laying in a lot of damage, getting that beam charged up really high, looking to get to 100 so they can land a nice headshot, but not able to. However, they still are able to take out Brightside as the rest of the Vampires start to fall back.
Yeah, for sure. The plan was there. That is the correct way to play Midtown, in my opinion. Just going straight to the point, not bothering going through the train there. Just go underneath it, straight to the point, and then you can fight like as if you're the defending team. And then you just stay on the point and accrue as much progress as possible. Unfortunately for them, not able to get it that quickly, and no tick, no progress. Blade over away.
Blade already coming out from Tanic. He finds 1-2. Swifters and takes care of a third here. They're trying to get rid of Brightside. Hayden able to do that right now. Now they're looking for the team kill, and they will be able to get team kill. Tanic B here gets 2 with their blade, and then able to punch 11-2 to death there. And a nice overall play there coming out from the Eclipse. They did only use 1 ultimate in that engagement. That is a huge team fight for them.
That's all they had to do. Tanic farmed damage on that first point. Like he had 97% of the blade after it was done. He could just passively let it charge and wait for them to push in, and nobody expected it either at this point. But Swift has the overclock and already finds Rafa. Tanic be ultimating 11-2. The grab coming out for Brightside, but unfortunately not finding that much value. Kind of just locking them in place while his health just continually fell lower and lower.
Yeah, that was actually really interesting to see the Vampires come through the train there, because I feel like that's probably one of the worst ways to go through, especially if you get completely stuck in there. It's a very close quarters area, and it just does not necessarily work good for a team that's trying to push through. However,
you don't have to sugarcoat it. It is definitely the worst way to attack on this point. And it's very confusing to see why they're going for it again. They get a pick through this time, and they use the beat to engage as well, but if Kalis going down, you gotta wonder if this is gonna work all that well. No, 11-2 down again. So easy for these characters to just spam damage into the tunnel.
Tanik with another blade finds 3 with it this time. Tanik is going off on one so far this map. And look at this, 50 seconds left to go. The Vampires have not even got a tick on that point yet. This is already looking to be, or what could be, a quick map number 2. However, some ultimates coming up for the Vampires right now. They do have that damage matrix ready to go, and Rappa does have the Death Blossom. Nothing necessarily ready for the Eclipse side at the moment. But Spooky finds Callus out. Here comes the Death Blossom, doesn't find any. Brightside does find 1, but already 3 members of their own team already out of this team fight. Rappa teleporting to keep themselves alive here. Brightside trying to do whatever they can to stay alive. They are all out of bubbles and almost all out of health. They're finally all out of health. Now Rappa going to the point, trying whatever they can to keep this round alive. Does end up falling. However, they need to have someone get back. Majestic able to get back. The damage is now coming out from Callus. However, Tanik just slicing and dicing through the entirety of the Vampires, takes out the last 3 members to end this round with nothing on the board to show for it for the Vampires.
Okay, a couple things I wanted to point out there. Callus unfortunately dying at the very start of that engagement for the Vampires. She had the not the immortality field, but the amplification matrix. And unfortunately, 11-2 just doesn't get any value out of it because it goes down. And the other ultimate in play, the Death Blossom, just gets booped away. Not going to find any damage when you're 20 feet away from the enemies. But again, we've been talking about it this whole time. Tanik be on that Genji. So much damage in the... He had a blade after the first fight. Like, come on. And then pops it, gets 3 kills. I don't think... Did anybody... I don't think Tanik died, but I don't know if anybody died on the side of Adelaide.
I believe there were some members who died for the Eclipse there. However, now, just looking at this, 30 seconds before this round starts for the Adelaide Eclipse side, they only need to get 1 tick to win this map here. And we're seeing the Vampires come out with the Ryan again. Not necessarily a hero I see a lot, at least. Yeah. But they're going to try to work it into this comp. However, look at what the Eclipse coming out with. Essentially what they came out with on defense. They're just going to try it again here on offense. Minus the BAP.
Yeah, minus the BAP, of course. But, you know, Callus, once again here on this Batiste pick. Swift just spamming damage in. Not finding a lot so far, only a couple connections. But you got to kind of wonder why they're going with the Reinhardt here, knowing Sojourn is so prevalent. Sojourn obviously being able to charge that railgun off of barriers, and Reinhardt's a pretty easy target for that.
Yeah, big, huge shield. Tanik already trying to find a lot. Takes care of Callus's immortality field. That's already out. That might be the go button that the Eclipse are looking for. However, 11-2 able to take care of Bunny here early. That might force a little bit of a fallback. No Kariko. They might. Oh, not see. Swifter's able to find Callus there. Brightside does find Spooky though, and look at this. The Eclipse are going to fall back here a little bit. Rappa able to find Hayden out early in this one and find Tanik and Swifters. Rappa keeping their team in this one.
A little bit of a fake out with that teleport, by the way. I see you, Rappa. Only up to 32% of that ultimate. Death Blossom going to charge real slow. Just in general in these compositions, especially compared to a character like Genji, like Sojourn. But, yeah. Adelaide just looking to push in. I think the win condition here for them is getting the blade before the sound barrier comes online, or just getting an early pick under Rappa. That works. Yeah.
Rappa's out early. Here comes the immortality field from the Vampires. It's already down. And Dustin Brightside, though, is able to find Hayden. That's 1 support down. Both supports down for the Vampires. Make that everyone down other than Brightside. They're trying their best right now, but they can only swing that shield around so much before the pressure of the Eclipse will eventually draw them out here. Rappa, though, able to get back. Gonna try to do whatever they can. They can just not do enough as Swifters pops that overclock and puts the Eclipse on to series point here after map 2.
2-0 with a pretty dominant display here on Midtown. Didn't even get to see the second or third points. Just the stellar defense and Tanik man. His Genji went off. Look at this. Kind of wish it had killed him in the first place. That works, honestly. No big deal.
Yeah,
and
Tanik
the Eclipse are going to go up 2-0.
Yeah. Tagby has been an absolute beast so far this series. Same could be said for Swifters as well.
Oh, yes.
And just some other score updates across the Discord tier right now. SEAL Team Spuds are on top of Redacted by a score of 1-0 at the moment. Hammerheads are currently down to Avalon 1-0 so far. Cosmic Castaways currently sitting on top of the Thunder Duckies 2-0. That would actually be an upset if that score holds. The Adrenalines on top of Poseidon 1-0. Joey Esports on top of Hades 1-0 already. Ragnarok Loki and MI7 still sitting at a 1-0 scoreline for MI7. And Space Created is currently down to F2 F214 1-0 or 1-0 so far through all those other series. But other than that, so far, this has been a great series. Gad, any last things you want to add before we go to our halftime break?
Not really anything. I think I'm seeing a couple player swaps for Vampyres for the next map, but we'll have to wait to see if those go through. We'll have to wait to see if the strategies change, because frankly, something does have to change. They kind of got stomped on Midtown.
Yeah, but with that, that is the end of map 2. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break and be back with map number 3 of this series.
welcome back. Vampyres versus Adelaide Eclipse. And it's been pretty one-sided so far. If you were here from Midtown, you'd know. It was not close in the slightest. One tick is all Eclipse needed to take that map, but we're moving on to Junkertown here. A pretty decent change of pace here. We have room to see some off-meta picks, like perhaps a Widowmaker, perhaps a Sigma, maybe. I'm excited.
Yeah, but you say one side. That first map in Nepal, though, was really, really close. And honestly, it went 9-9-9-9 on that third point. So we could be looking at we could be looking at a tied series right now. However, we do see the Adelaide Eclipse on top of that one. Like you said, one side on Midtown easily. And just so everyone knows, if this is your first time tuning in from the regular season to now, if the Eclipse win this map, there is no fourth map. The series ends there. And that will also be the season for the Vampyres. However, we're hopping into Junkertown now, and we're already seeing that off-pick Widowmaker come out by Rappa. However, the Vampyres have teased us a lot before.
Yes, show me the Widowmaker. Give it to me. I love Widowmaker. I'm a sucker for this character. I don't know why. I just love seeing these flashy clips so much. And I'll point out, by the way, Gordo's back on that Orisa, at least so far. Oh, but wait, that's not even the weirdest tank pick. We're seeing Spooky on the Roadhog.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick coming out from Spooky. Part of me thinks it's either they think that they're comfortably ahead in the series and they can play what a fun character they want to play, or maybe they're going for a pick comp. But look at this. We're seeing the Vampyres actually come out with this Widowmaker. Rappa looking for the head of anyone, and they're able to find Hayden out. Wait, another one maybe. Oh, they missed the flashy one there, but taking care of Hayden was such a huge one for them. Look at this now. The Vampyres are starting to push the Eclipse back here a little bit.
You gotta be so careful when you're opening on Junkertown. Obviously an extremely popular map for Widowmaker. Long sight lines on every single point. Never a bad pick on this map, and sometimes you just give the Widow just the right angle, and there goes your head.
Yeah, Spooky now going to contest this card here at this choke point. Gordo's going to try to do their best to get them away from it, and they've done a good job so far getting the cart through the choke point at the moment, and a nice force back coming out here. Cannon getting that disrupting shot. They're able to take care of Swifters. Cannon coming in for Mr. Brightside in this map, already showing that they can do a lot. Rappa, though, finds another headshot on the Hayden. They are not allowing Hayden to play so far. Majestic takes care of Tannic, and look at this. This Vampyres team looks rejuvenated after that halftime break.
Blink and you miss it. We are already about to end the first point off of the back of a couple good picks from Rafa, and I'm gonna be honest, a really questionable tank decision from Eclipse. I know Hog can work. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny it, but I saw two hooks land and neither of them got kills. Tannic finding a headshot onto Rafa, finally shutting down that Widowmaker for the first time this map, and now we look to see what the response is.
Yeah, and you talked about the tank swap. Probably not the right move there. As you see, Spooky already going back to a much more in-meta pick here with Zarya, but Majestic falls or finds Swifters here early. Canyon able to find Tannic B. Bunny, though, comes right back as she finds Majestic. So that will keep the Eclipse in this team fight for them. But here comes the surge from Gordo, not able to find anyone. Spooky is actually able to find Callus out here, and now Gordo trying to just bully Bunny into the corner. Hayden trying to do their best to get them out of that situation. However, they're able to stay alive here for them, but now it's just Gordo by themselves here. Bunny is able to take care of Rappa, but Gordo takes care of Spooky. Now some members of the Vampyres starting to come back. Hayden here, kind of between a rock and a hard place. That rock is one member of the Vampyres, and that hard place is also another member of the Vampyres. Tannic be able to find Cannon before Gordo finds Hayden. Tannic also finding Gordo. Tannic back on that Genji. We've seen him do so well on Midtown, but now we're starting to see stuff calm down a little bit. Rapid's gonna pop the visor here, lets them know where everyone is on the Eclipse side right now.
And Dex, Tannic has the blade now. We've seen him do some pretty spectacular things, especially on, well, only on Midtown. He didn't play it on Nepal, but gonna try to bait out a response, but no blade popped just yet. And probably gonna lose out this 1v1 unless, okay, there we go. I thought he might have had some of that magic in him, but not this time around. Swift is gonna
overclock
that.
overclock comes in, but so does the Kasuni rush and the grab from Spooky. Spooky falls, the Swifters able to find one. Finds the second one, they're on to Callus. Getting some support here from Buddy, trying to do whatever they can at the moment, and some support from Hayden. Hayden does have that beat ready to go, but it seems like the fight is kind of stabilized at the moment. Rappa waiting for someone to poke their head out. Does see Swifters poke their head out, but Swifters able to force Rappa to fall back.
Swift dropped down below 25 HP. Like, we're talking 1 HP territory. Bunny and Hayden doing a really good job of keeping them alive. I believe with the Suzu, especially from Bunny. Really good stuff so far, and Tanic finding another pick. They're just gonna have to reset again. This blade has still not been popped.
Yeah, they're holding on to this one. They're waiting for something. It's whether either a beat or something else coming out. Gordo does pop the Primal Rage here. So that might be the thing that Tanic was waiting for here, just as an ultimate to come out. Now there's no ultimates ready for the side of the Vampires right now. Rappa swapping off of the Widowmaker, now going to the much better Genji pick, especially for this second point. Hayden still has that beat, but Tanic, like you said, still holding on to that blade here for the moment.
Yeah, Tanic is absolutely looking for a great opportunity.
Here it comes.
And this
One,
is it!
two already. He's slicing and dicing it up again. Swifters able to find one. Tanic finds a fourth one there. Almost a team kill. They're looking for it. He's going after Cannon now. The disrupting shot does come out to force Tanic off, and Tanic might lose his life here if he's not, safe with it, but he's able to get healed back up and dash away from it all. 4 members of the Vampires out in that one fell ultimate coming out from Tanic.
And that was one ultimate. Literally just the blade. No combo, no nothing. No beat. They hold on to it for the next fight. They can absolutely hold this, especially against this Kitsune Rush, the only ultimate in play for Vampires. But as I say, that Spooky goes down. So does Hayden. Good picks on the side of Vampire at this point. Can they keep up the momentum they got from that first point?
Yeah, they're doing a good job so far. Tanic and Bunny now falling. Swifters, again, in a very bad situation, is able to slide out of that with their life somehow, but they're still in a very dangerous spot. Gordo knows where they are, but somehow, again, they're able to escape it with their lives. It would have just been a little bit of a peppering that Gordo needed to do to take care of Swifters, but they're able to escape with it. However, they do cap the second point here. 2.5 minutes in that time bank, and some ultimates coming up for them and for the Eclipse. However, now the fight on that high ground here. But we see Swifters pop that overclock here, able to find one out early, able to find a second one. There is Tanic B. Swifters still trying to find anyone else with a Tanic, though, is just cleaning up here. 3 straight kills for Tanic B. Make it 4!
Make it 4, baby! This Reaper swap, I would imagine coming in to keep the Winston a little bit more in check from Gordo. But, man, when you see the opportunity as Reaper, you're just gonna hold down W, you're gonna get all 4 of those kills, you're gonna go in. You're still only gonna have about 70% of your blossom at this point, but if you combo just Reaper in general with that keeps in a rush, like we're seeing now, we're seeing a lot of damage potential coming out here.
Rappa's able to find Swifters out here early. Both Kasuni rushes are out. The grab is out from Spooky. However, I don't think it will really do a lot because that Kasuni rush is doing enough to keep them alive. Rappa does have a blade ready. Here comes the Death Blossom from Tanic. It does find Majestic. That's all it finds before Tanic falls again. Rappa's own blade now getting some value. It does find one. Hayden, though, able to find Cannon. And this card has pretty much been sitting here this entire time. The Vampires completely forgot about Callus, though, does find Spooky. Swifters comes right back with a trade onto Callus here, and now we're starting to see the Vampires push a little bit. Swifters in a terrible spot, tries to run away. However, 2 straight headshot railgun kills coming from them will force a fallback here from Rappa, as now they try to wait for the rest of their team to respawn.
All 5 ultimates used on the side of Vampire, and they only barely make it halfway through this point, unfortunately. Not a decisive enough fight win, and they just don't get that much distance. And now they're just looking to find an early pick. Spooky was looking a little bit low, but gets that mega. Tanic, though, finding another early pick onto Kalis this time. Gordo going down as well, and it's just gonna be a snowball from here.
Yeah, it's
gonna take this fight.
It's getting bad for the Vampires right now. 24 seconds left in that time bank. That cart is in a very favorable spot for the Eclipse. Spooky is close to a grab. However, when you look at the side of the Vampires, there's really no ultimates ready.
Yeah, they don't have any ultimates to work with here. They're playing into what is almost an overclock and a graviton surge with 10 seconds left, and Kalis is already down.
And here comes the overclock from Swifters. They're able to find one. They're able to find Gordo. Hayden takes care of Majestic. And they find another one. Spooky takes care of them, and a team kill coming out from the Eclipse here will end the Vampires push phase on Junkertown.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite a fantastic first point, not able to finish the map. Really good defense from Eclipse on the second point. I will point that out. I think when they captured, they only had about 2 minutes and 44 seconds to get through the third point, and they only make it about halfway. Just the ultimate usage was not there. A little bit too trigger happy on those Q buttons, and just doesn't get the distance required. And I will say though, this is looking a lot closer than Midtown, and it's much more winnable, I believe.
One thing I want to add on, you said they didn't find a lot of success with their ultimates, but we could be talking about a completely different thing here, especially if they're able to get a team kill, win a fight there or two with those ultimates. We could be looking at potentially the Vampires here either finishing this map, fully completing it, or getting really, really close. However, 2 points for them is nothing to be mad about for this Eclipse. I mean, for this Vampire side. Hell, they could hold him here on the first point. They can hold him on the second point. We could be going to a map 4 after this. However, it's all up now to if the Vampires defense can be just as good as their offense. Spooky for the Eclipse coming out on that Roadhog again. They're at least teasing it here to start out, but we do see the majority of the Vampires here looking to just bomb rush the Eclipse as they come out of spawn.
Yeah, looking a little bit aggressive. The Junkrat pick, by the way, interesting decision, and looking like it's already going to get punished out here. Tanic identifying the easiest pick target, finding him immediately. Rafa goes down. Hayden also goes down. Oh, what a charge! Gordo, good stuff from him. Taking out Tanic right off the bat, and this defense is actually going to hold pretty firmly here, although you may have to back off just ever so slightly to maybe get the Junkrat back into effect. Tanic?
Yeah, Tanic also swapping. Tanic's swapping to the Junkrat right now as well as Pride to deal with that shield from Gordo. I'm surprised we're seeing Rappa stay on. I thought we might see them swap over to the Soldier, but looks like they want to stick with the Junkrat here for the moment. That disrupting shot will be huge.
Ooh,
it catches Majestic and they just get melted as they try to walk out. Tanic takes care of Callus, but Gordo able to take care of Hayden with the charge, making them into a pace in that upper wall. However, that's the only highlight there for the Vampires, as it's essentially everyone else on their team ends up falling there. Cannon, though, does take care of Swifters. They are in that backline, and the team is looking for them.
There is one thing I wanted to point out on the side of Vampires there, and it's that while Kalis does have a very significant amount of ult charge, that's kind of to be expected of a Batiste, generally speaking, but the immortality field usage has been questionable. During that last fight in particular, everybody was in the room, somebody had already died, and then it was thrown outside of the room. Gotta clean that up just a little bit of your Kalis here.
Swifters pops the overclock here, takes care of the immortality field, takes care of Kalis. It's gone now, but now Spooky's whole hog is out. Tank be able to find Rappa here. We're trying to see Spooky take care of Majestic. They're just not able to. However, the rest of the team for the Eclipse able to take care of everyone on the Vampires. And this should be first point going over to the Eclipse. And we see Spooky there going to swap off for the hog, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it, but you know, with how well it's worked on this first point, no, alright, fair enough. Got me to shut up real quick.
I mean, they got
the much more consistent damage Zarya pick, understandably so. Tanic B has this tire, charges one up before Rafa does, despite, you know, not starting on the Junkrat. Here it is. Where is the enemy team here? You're gonna find Cannon with that, really well placed. Only finding one, but Rafa's tire also just not finding anything. Oh, but the shatter on the Bunny and Hayden!
This is interesting. This is an interesting team fight coming out here from the Vampires, because I don't think they noticed that the majority of the Eclipse are pushing this cart to the second point. It doesn't necessarily matter, as Tanic B is just taking care of everyone on the Vampires right now. And look at this. They're already rounding the last turn there to the second point. The Vampires, that might have been the worst case scenario for them there. They really need that team fight to go their way. However, the gate shut on them, and the Eclipse just took care of, I believe it was Rappa, and just started to push the cart.
That was a disaster. Tanic B taking out Cannon too, it basically ensures that they're going to lose this point. The sound barrier is quite ambitious. Tanic does die, but Rappa also going down, and the beat coming out for Eclipse. They're just gonna walk it in here, man. It's just the Lucio contesting right now. If they can kill him, it's gonna be that. Gordo gets back, but yeah, you're not gonna live long there, buddy. I'm sorry.
Again, trying to spin the win there doesn't necessarily work when you are a Reinhardt, just like it doesn't really work when you are a Winston either. However, now 51.11 meters is all the Eclipse needs here to end this series in a sweep and move them on to the next round here. The Vampires, on the other hand, cannot let it get to that box right there on the screen. They have a Death Blossom ready to go, but Spooky's grab might be all they need here to end this map.
They have the Death Blossom, but Hayden's done a great job this series of denying value from those. And out comes the grab. They got locked off the point! Are they even gonna touch? Okay, somebody gets to the point just barely in time. Another boop from Hayden. Cannon's not gonna get close, and it looks like that's it. Eclipse is gonna take the series 3-0 in relatively dominant fashion, Dex.
Yeah, relatively dominant fashion. Like I said before this map started, Nepal was a close map. It could have gone either way there. It went 9-9-9-9 on that third point, but we saw the Eclipse take it. Midtown was an absolute stomping from the Eclipse there. And Junkertown here was a lot closer of a map. Even you said it yourself. It seemed like the Vampires finally figured something out. However, I want to say it was really that team fight after the Eclipse capped the first point on Junkertown that really hurt the Vampires there, because they were essentially walled off from the cart, and by the time that team fight ended, it was essentially they're just trying to get out there to stagger that cart a little bit.
Yeah, you cannot let that point go by in one fight. Yeah, the streets phase is hard enough to complete if you actually have, like, you know, pressure from the high ground throughout that point, but unfortunately for Vampires, they decide to take the aggressive fight, and it's just not in the right position for it. And yeah, Eclipse are gonna go into that last point with just over 4 minutes to capture just 51 meters, not even all the way around that first corner. And the grab essentially sealed the fate of Vampires. Unfortunately for them, going home in, I don't know how many teams there are in this bracket, but last place in this bracket. Yeah, back to the drawing board for them.
Yeah, like you said, Vampires out of this tournament. Eclipse will be moving on, and we do know who they will be playing, actually. But let's give some other score updates right now. SEAL Team Spuds on top of Redacted in the upper bracket, 2-0. Hammerhead and Avalon, that's actually a series at the moment. Hammerhead is down, though, 2-1 in that one. We have our first upset of the night as well from the upper bracket, as well as the number 10 seeded Cosmic Castaways defeated the number 7 Thunder Duckies in a straight sweep there. Adrenalines and Poseidon is still 1-0 in favor of the Adrenalines. Joey Esports in the bottom bracket now, able to, I believe that is the upper bracket, does beat Hades in a straight sweep of 3-0. Ragnarok, Loki, and MI7. That was the game that feeds in to the one that we just watched. MI7 sweeps Ragnarok, Loki. So Ragnarok, Loki will be coming down to the lower bracket to play the Adelaide Eclipse here. And in the last series of the night, the Space Created versus F214. That one is still going on. F214 is sitting on series point in that one as they hold a lead 2-0 in that one.
Yeah, all right. A couple upsets, a couple, seeded results. Kind of happens everywhere you go. Yeah, like I said earlier, you never want to be one of the teams that goes home first, but happens to everybody, you know. I in my time competing in various games, I'm very rarely not that person or team. So,
yeah, especially because I think both me and you, I think you said that you're a Philly fan, I'm a Philly fan. First eliminated. We got first in something finally, but not the thing that you want to be first.
Also, my other favorite team got eliminated tonight. No, wait, no. They won. They won. I am. My brain is fried.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, the Adrenaline Eclipse here looked like a scary team so far. However, the Vampires at times did look to be a team that could compete with them. Like I mentioned before, numerous times, Nepal was incredibly close match, and just the Eclipse were able to come out on top of that one. Midtown, on the other hand, that was anything from close. If anything, that was a far gap difference there on that map. And the third
not for
map of Junkertown, it was closer. But again, I just think that one team fight from the Vampyres trying to contest the Eclipse there after they capped the first point was just the wrong move from them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you go next season. You take what you learned this time around and you roll with the punches. It's only up from here, you know?
Yeah. However, I do believe we might have some bonus content coming out right now. We might be going into another match right now since this one ended very quickly. We might potentially be jumping into another series. But we're going to take a little bit of a quick break while we get everything set up for that. So stick around. I believe we will be joining the Adrenaline and Poseidon series after this break.
All right.
All right, welcome back. We are hopping quickly into this one. Adrenaline here as we immediately go pause because one of the players for Poseidon disconnected. All right, we're back, everyone. We're back, everyone. So, like I said, we're going to join in on the Adrenaline versus Poseidon series. Now, if I am correct, I believe Adrenaline is currently up in the series 2-1 at the moment. Or is it the other way around?
I have no idea. I kind of spaced out during that conversation. That's my fault.
No, I mean, I spaced out too. Let me check the score update.
Yeah, as well.
Poseidon is currently sitting on match point right now. So Poseidon, all they need to do is win Coliseo here, and they move on to the next round. However, Adrenaline coming into this map looking to try to force a map 5. However, we are paused again because we are missing one person from the Poseidon team who did disconnect.
Unfortunate disconnects. They happen every so often, but you know, you gotta stall. You gotta get them back in, you know. But interesting compositional choices here for both teams. Both teams running the Mirror Zarya and the Batiste instead of the traditional, well, I say traditional, very recent Winston and Kiriko meta. Very interesting to see these characters out specifically. It seems like the Kitsune Rush less needed when neither team is running the Reaper. I guess the Genji needs it less.
Yeah, and honestly, right now we're like, this is another matchup in the lower bracket. So loser of this game is unfortunately done for the season. However, the winner of this one does go on to play the loser of SEAL Team Spuds and Redacted.
All right.
And a quick score update on that one, I believe is, SEAL Team Spuds are currently sitting on top of that one 2-0.
Interesting stuff.
But
It looks like our disconnected player has rejoined at this point, but I don't know if we're restarting. It looks like we're not restarting. We're just gonna unpause and get right back into it.
Get right back in. It looks like Foxard was the player that disconnected. We are now back in action here. Adrenaline needs to win this map, like I said, to prolong the series to that game 5. All that we need to see Poseidon do is just push the bot further, and they will move on into the lower bracket to face the loser of Steel Team Spuds and Redacted right now. We're on Rowlet here, who's just trying to pepper in a lot of damage. Look at that railgun charged up here. Does that have it at 95, but doesn't find anything with it there.
Fox is going to come in. Lots of damage done on this Genji. Quite a bit negated with that deflect as well. Gonna keep looking for a target here. Could be a crucial pick. Rowlet kind of jumps into the enemy team. Lula dies as well, but Rowlet was in danger. Gets out just fine. No thanks to the supports, I assume, but it looks like we're gonna see Gecko and company pushing forward just a little bit.
Yeah, Rowlet used substitute there to get out of that team fight. And now we start to see the Poseidon team here just go up into the Adrenaline spawn here, try to force them out. But team fight already coming out. Yoshiardo able to take care of the Immortality field. Both Genji's finding a kill there onto a support, but the kill, Poseidon continue to follow that one. However, nothing follows up for the Adrenaline side. Yoshi, though, it does find Boopy out there, and now they're trying to find someone else, but not a lot of health, not in their favor there, and they should almost be able to push this bot to the first kind of stall point here. But we do see King here trying to do whatever they can to make sure the Adrenaline side does not get back to that bot in time. However, it doesn't seem like it'll really matter.
Yeah, it's not going to matter here. I kind of was hoping that they'd back off the card a little bit because both Murph and Boopy went down in that fight. There was no healing on the card for them, but they somehow managed to get back in time. The grab comes out too. Not enough damage though. The Immortality field and more will hold off. Gecko with the fantastically placed disruptor, finding 2 kills, and the railgun finding another, and they're gonna get that forward spawn.
Yeah, that's a good thing here for Poseidon. They just need this map to end this series. King able to find Rowlet out, and look at this, the pressure that the side of Poseidon is putting on the Adrenalines now. They're basically trying to spawn them. They're smartly backing off a little bit now. Rowlet does have that overclock ready to go. So does Yoshi, and their grab. Yoshi pops their grab. Look at this, 3 straight kills coming out for the Adrenaline side. Make it 4. They're looking for that 5th member, but I believe they were able to escape with their life on that Lucio. And I do not think we'll see the Adrenaline side here be able to push the bot up a little bit here, but because I think the Poseidon squad will be able to get back and contest.
They aren't even going to get 10 meters before the contest comes out. In fact, literally, they're not even going to get to push the barricade. They're just going to reset the forward spawns and hope that they win a fight here. Oh, what a shot from Rowlet! Finding another one onto Murph as well.
What?
Another onto Foxer!
Four
That's
for
four!
Rowlet! Don't no one take this from him. Come on, Rowlet. No, it's Pulu who takes it away. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They needed those kills coming out from Rowlet with the help from that amplification mission from Tyler C. They finally start to push this bot up a little bit. Now they do get rid of that forward spawn for the Poseidon team. Maybe this is all they need to get back into this map right now, but that bot does move very slowly. Foxar does have that blade radio. They're gonna pop it here. They're looking for Mint, but Mint pops that beat here to keep them alive. However, they do find Rowlet out. They're still swiping, looking for anyone, not able to find anyone. King, though, does take care of the immortality field. However, only one member gone for the adrenaline side, or the Poseidon squad here. Now Pula is able to Gecko. King does find Tyler C, so one support down for the adrenaline side. And make it two as Mint falls as well. And now we should start to see the tides turn in favor of Poseidon here. And Pula, just cut off from the rest of their team, does get taken care of there by the dueling Genji of Foxard.
A valiant effort from Pula. Several picks that fight on that Genji. Gonna opt to swap to the Reaper now. Just put a little bit more pressure onto that Zarya, but coming up on that grab is King, and a little bit scary here.
Yeah, now look at this. Fight is going to come out here. The grab from King already popped out here. Does force out the Primal Rage from Yoshi, but look at that. Already two members of their team down. A little bit of a costly ultimate there, but they're just keeping their life at the moment, and so far they have. The bubble comes out to keep Rowlet alive as they just try to get whatever damage they can on point, but that bot does move incredibly fast when it is not pushing that barrier.
Yeah, unfortunately, things just went from bad to worse. Off of the back of that one Graviton surge, we are now in the 90-meter territory. It is looking like a pretty monumental task at this point to catch up at all. And Murph going down does help them, but they gotta find a couple more kills here. Pula can't find the kill on the King there.
But Yoshi's able to. The blade is ready for Fox Art again. If they want to use here, they are losing members, so it's probably not the best thing to use the blade in this fight. They're trying to do whatever damage they can. However, they eventually do end up falling, and now the adrenaline side is going to start pushing this bot again.
And there is no way, Dex. There is absolutely no way that forward spawns get deactivated before the entire team is back. Yeah, they're already there, essentially. We're going to see a lot of spam coming out. The overclocks are both online. Can Rowlet make magic happen? Or is Poseidon going to shut it down right here? Gecko looking for the shots. Forward spawn deactivated. Good shot onto Pula.
But here comes the Kasuni rush from the side of Poseidon. However, Gecko's only able to find something so far. Here comes the blade from Foxart. They have to use the reflect there, but they are able to find Tyler C. They're find Mint, Rowlet and they find Rowlet there with the headshot after the blade ends. They also find Yoshi. That is a 4K coming out from Foxart here, and that bot will continue to push the barricade closer and closer to its final resting place.
4K is all across the board now. We just got a couple more players who need one, and then we got the whole DPS crew doing it. But now Poseidon in a fantastic position to just extend his lead. Another grab coming out. Oh, but the damage just denied. King goes down, and Yoshiaro looking real good. The Primal Rage comes out, gonna find this kill onto Gecko. There it is, and this is gonna be a lot of.
Yeah, you see Boopy kind of jump off the map there to respawn with their team, which is probably smart because they do not want to lose this forward spawn. They're going to give it up here, but Yoshi falling early for the adrenaline side is not what you wanted to see if you're a fan of them. Now, no big tank, no shield for them either, and look at this, Poseidon realizes that, and they're just absolutely collapsing in on adrenaline at the moment. They're pushing the bot again. They have really no ultimates ready to go. Murph's amplification matrix is close, but look at adrenaline. Nothing in the bank for them.
No, not at all. They are running on empty at this point. The closest they are is 60 to a Kitsune Rush. How did I forget the name of that ultimate? I think. But it's just rough all around. Rowlet does find a pick there onto Gecko, but it's probably not going to be enough with the rest of the team going down, especially both supports. Yoshiaro and Rowlet both in immediate danger of dying, although Yoshiara does escape. Rowlet is not so lucky, and now this is looking like a potential end game scenario here with 2 minutes left in the round, Dex.
Yeah, it's getting very, very close for Poseidon here. The Adrenaline side needs to have something go their way right now. The amplification rate comes out from Murph here. However, they're getting pushed back far enough to where they will not get a lot of use out of it. Gecko does find Pula, though, to keep this fight kind of even at the moment. Tyler, see on that
Blade?
Kariko trying to do whatever they can. Foxtrot finds one. They do have that Blade ready, but they are going after Rowlet. They find Rowlet. That might be all they need. Yoshi in the back, though, is able to find one. However, they might be a little bit too far. Yoshi going for the health pack, but look at this.
They gotta touch. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it. It's fine.
It's
fine. They're gonna make it.
Kasumi Rush comes out from Tyler. Murph falls. They're going after Foxard, after Boopy. 3 members down now for Poseidon. The Adrenaline side trying to stay in this one. However, they have a 112-meter deficit they have to overcome. They need to start pushing this bot, and they need to make sure they do not lose another team fight from here on out.
They need these ultimates to be perfect from this point on. In fact, they probably need to try to start winning fights only using just one. Mint's Sound Barrier can absolutely do that for them, but they gotta be so careful playing into both a Graviton Surge and this Dragon Blade. What's it gonna do? The beat does come out. Anything else come out for Poseidon at this point? There goes
the overclock
and the Graviton Surge.
King, though, able to find
Pula
Pula
dead.
out. Yoshi, though, on that Primal Rage, does find one. They're just trying to find anyone else with it now. King does use the grab here. They do find Rowlet with it. Yoshi trying to do whatever they can just to keep this bot contested right now, but everyone else on their team is falling as King just takes care of Tyler C there. Pula now rushing in headfirst in the battle on their own. Yoshi decided to back up. 15 seconds now on that clock. Foxstar finds Pula. Mint's down and out as well. Someone needs to get back to touch that bot. It has to be Yoshi at this point. Rowlet maybe, but they might be a little bit too far. Yoshi jumps to the bot. Now they're able to contest it just in time. Now everyone else for their side has to stay alive. Yoshi falls early from that nice railgun shot from Gecko. King finds Rowlet. Tyler C as well. The overtime clock is now falling down. Mint's trying to get back in time, but they're just not able to. As Poseidon will take Colosseo and the series in 3-1 fashion.
A couple of pretty crucial positioning errors throughout that entire map, really, costing Adrenaline that map. The unfortunate, like, Winston in the backline. I know that he's supposed to be there, yes, but in that exact moment, you just weren't going to find any value there, unfortunately. And then near the end there, unfortunately, Pula just... That Reaper was too far forward. Even with the Wraith Walk, you're not getting out of there alive, especially not with characters like Genji, who are highly mobile. You had, like, what, 80 health when you entered Wraith Walk? Yeah, you were not living. That Genji could just dash to you and hit a right click.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for that Adrenaline side because we don't necessarily know what the entire series looked like before, if it was kind of the same as that or if it was more closely contested maps. However, this one just seemed to be in Poseidon's hands from the start. They won that initial team fight and essentially just started to push that bot up very, very, very close to that first kind of stalling point before we did see Adrenaline's win a team fight there. However, it seemed like Poseidon kind of let them have that one as they fell back, waited for some members of the team to respawn, then came back into the fight again, won it, and eventually got that first point.
Yeah, and the crucial key of push, especially on a map like, well, I say especially on Colosseo, but it kind of applies to all of them. But if you lose 2 team fights in a row, you are in a lot of trouble because suddenly they have forward spawns, and if you can't deactivate that, then you have to win like 2 fights in a row if you want to take that back. But if you just keep trading fights back and forth, they're just going to get ever so slightly further, and we just kept seeing that happen over and over and over again. At first it was the 70 meters just after the first barricade, and then it was the like 90 meters, and then it got up to 135 near the end. Unfortunately for Adrenalines, they just couldn't find those crucial 3 or so in a row fight wins. They never even got it past 20 meters.
Yeah, and for the Adrenalines, that is their season. They are in the lower bracket. Poseidon will move on. Like I said, to play the loser of Steel Team Spuds and Redacted. However, looking at that matchup, still the score online still says that it is Steel Team Spuds 2, Redacted nothing at the moment. So it's looking like it will be Poseidon versus Redacted here, unless we see a reverse sweep. come out in that game. However, Poseidon looked very strong. Adrenaline's, it just seemed like nothing really went their way here for them. They had a good season overall, made it to the playoffs, 8th seed in the lower bracket, nothing to be ashamed of here, but Poseidon able to knock them out here and move on into that next round.
And there were flashes of brilliance from Adrenalines. For example, that ridiculous overclock 4K from Rowlet in conjunction with the window from the Batiste, of course. But just, you gotta hit those shots, and you can't just let the one player, like, try to determine the entire outcome of the game. Overwatch, at its core, is a team game, and no one person can carry. Obviously, there were moments from the rest of Adrenalines for sure, but in that one specific map, Rowlet making one extremely impressive 4K play just not enough. You needed to win more than that.
Yeah, and honestly, you could have one person kind of carry you through one map, maybe two, but a whole series probably not here. Rowlet did really good in that one instance. However, they were helped a lot there by their Baptiste's amplification matrix. However, it just seemed like Poseidon, on the other hand, they had a couple great plays come out for individually, but it seemed like they were playing more as a team in that one here. But like I said, they move on to the next round in the lower bracket, face the loser of SEAL Team Spuds and Redacted. However, that will pretty much do it for us here tonight. Remember, that first series between Adelaide, Eclipse, and Vampyres went in a 3-0 sweep for the Adelaide Eclipse, and I believe they will be playing Ragnarok Loki in their next game, because I believe Ragnarok Loki got swept in their game that happened at the same time.
The upper bracket, indeed. And once again, Poseidon taking it 3-1 over Adrenalines, also here in the lower bracket, saying goodbye to Adrenalines. But again, gotta come back next season, come back stronger, come back better, and hopefully put up a better result. Although, no shame in making it to playoffs.
Yeah, no shame at all. But that will pretty much do it for us here tonight. Gad, anything you want to add on here before we sign off?
Thanks for having me. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is like the first time I've done Overwatch commentary in an official capacity. I had a really good time. I was really nervous going into it because this got dropped on me the day of, but I'm hoping I can come back and do more. And it was a good time. I enjoyed it a lot. Thanks for having me.
I know everyone here at Tranquility will probably love to have you back in the booth sometime soon. But again, thank you to Laggy, our producer, tonight, for getting all this up on stream for you all to watch. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Congratulations to the two teams that won our two matches tonight, and congrats on a good season from the other two teams that ended up losing and are now out of the playoffs in the Discord tier NA bracket. Again, thank you to everyone for coming out. That will do it for us here at Tranquility tonight, but make sure you tune in to the next Tranquility stream. I believe it will be next Tuesday to watch more playoff action happen here on Twitch. Again, thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.